Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for tuning into the Building Blocks of Branding featuring Amber Berens Drupiewski, Brand Management Specialist from the VSP Global Premier Program. Today's webinar is brought to you by Premier Academy 360. Designed to attract and retain patients and increase revenues, Premier Academy 360 offers effective and actionable education that's credible, simple, results-driven, and is provided at no charge to you. They have workshops, webinars, resource libraries, e-learnings. Visit learnacademy360.com to learn more. Disclaimer, this is not professional, financial, medical, or legal advice. Consult with professional association guidelines, state labor resources, financial advisors, and/or an attorney for advice. For anyone new with us today, I'd like to quickly share who and what my marketing team is. We are a benefit for VSP Global Premier Program practices and provide you a dedicated team of marketing professionals. We are here to help you reach, connect, and engage with current and potential patients. We craft monthly newsletters with marketing materials, promotions, and tips to keep you up to date with social media trends. We share content, tips, and tools to help you and your practice save time. We create fresh and engaging marketing materials to share with your patients, and we offer monthly educational webinars, much like today. I'm so pleased to introduce our subject matter expert today, Amber Berens Drupiewski. Take it away, Amber.
Thanks, Jen, and hi, everyone. Thank you for listening in on this short introduction to branding. My name is Amber Berens Drupiewski, and I am a brand management specialist for the VSP Global Premier Program. I've worked in the marketing field for over 15 years, and I have degrees in English and psychology. Prior to joining the team at VSP, I worked as a freelance writer and brand and marketing consultant. I've worked with many companies in the medical field and several Fortune 500 companies as well. Here's what we'll be covering over the next 20 or so minutes. We'll introduce a high-level concept for branding, talk about why it's important, how to get started, and what's next for you and your practice. So you've most likely heard of branding, but unless you have a background in marketing, you may not know exactly what branding refers to. Overall, branding can be viewed as a unique identifier that sets you apart from others, but it's also a tool to shape how your practice is perceived by potential patients. It attracts the right patients at the right time, sets the tone for customer experience, and keeps people coming back. And it ensures a unified look and feel, making your practice easier to recognize. So a strong brand isn't optional when it comes to the success of your business. Your brand works really hard for you. It increases employee loyalty and business value, instills trust with patients and employees. And in a recent study, Harvard Business Review reported that 64% of customers shared values as the primary reason they have a relationship with a brand. Additional research has also shown that consistent brand representation across all platforms increases revenue by up to 23%. So here is a couple examples of strong branding in action. On the left, you'll see Clarin Eye Care, and on the right, you'll see Levin Eye Care. And it's clear that these two brands are being represented very differently. So if we take another look, immediately someone viewing these examples will get an impression of what the company is all about. For instance, Clarin Eye Care at the top appears community-focused, friendly. You'll notice that the doctor is smiling in a very genuine way and approachable. On the bottom, as a different model, the Levin Eye Care brand comes across as professional, reliable, and innovative. So now that you know and have seen some examples about branding and why branding is important, you're likely wondering where you should start, either sprucing up your brand or identifying a new brand altogether. The three topics that we'll start with are your mission statement, your brand vision, and your target audience. So first things first, let's talk about your mission statement. A mission statement is defined as a short declaration of why a business exists. It's important for a lot of reasons. It creates brand loyalty and recognition. It provides a North Star for your internal goals. And of course, it inspires employees and patients. A mission statement should always be aspirational. Here's a few examples of real life mission statements for businesses in the optometric field. You'll notice that some are long and very specific, while others are short and focus more on the big picture. Either of these approaches work as long as they accurately represent the mission of your business. At the top, you can see Eye Center Optometrics mission. And it says, our mission is to provide comprehensive eye care of the highest quality in an efficient and innovative manner with respect and compassion. You'll see through this mission statement that their values are respect and compassion amongst focusing on high quality eye care. On the bottom, the Acuity Eye Group states that their mission is improving patients' quality of life through excellence in eye care and patient experience. This is a little bit shorter and more to the point, but whatever works for your practice. So let's talk about your brand vision. The vision of your business's brand derives from your mission statement. It highlights action originating from your mission, and it is also aspirational, aiming for an ideal that doesn't possibly yet exist. For example, the vision for the Alzheimer's Association is a world without Alzheimer's disease. Having an inspirational vision gives your employees a formal rallying cry and provides staff and customers with a positive outlook for why you exist. So here's a few more examples of vision statements. You'll see that all three examples are aspirational and uplifting. The first example from Levin Eye Care aims to be the eye service of choice in our communities by focusing on the enhancement of vision and health for all we serve. Chesapeake Eye Center says that they want to be the tri-state leader for all eye care services. And then the final example is our vision is to change the way the world sees through developmental optometry. So you'll see that that example is a little more specific with the developmental optometry added in. Another important initial step is identifying your target audience. This is absolutely crucial because it will help you reach the audience you want effectively. You need to know who your patients are so you can communicate to them in the ways that they prefer. If you've thought about it and determined your target audience, you can also start identifying the right channels to promote your brand. Think about how your audience takes in information. Is it from the radio, phone calls, text messages? Maybe it's mostly social media, or even print advertising and emails. Social media, for instance, is an effective way to promote your practice's brand to your specific target audience in your geographical area. Did you know that it costs as little as $1 a day to advertise on Facebook? View the webinar recording on our website for tips to get started with social media advertising. One more thing that you'll want to do is determine your advertising budget. And then it's always best to assign a point person. And that can be somebody in your practice who has experience, or maybe you want to talk to an outside consulting firm. So that brings us toward the end of the webinar. This webinar is absolutely a great first step in developing your brand identity and learning more about branding. But there's still quite a ways to go before you have a comprehensive brand that clearly defines your practice. As next steps, you may want to consider hosting a brainstorm. How can your staff live your brand? How would they like to see your brand presented to patients? Your staff is a wealth of knowledge, so don't forget to leverage that. You'll also want to create an impactful logo. Work with design experts to develop a logo that fits your brand perfectly. You'll market your brand to patients and be sure that you're doing it effectively. You definitely want to track where the majority of your patients are coming from. For instance, by asking directly, how are they finding your practice? You'll also need to consider making in-office changes based on your brand. For instance, maybe it's a change in office colors that fit your brand's personality more, or maybe your staff's uniforms need to be updated. Think about all the possibilities. And of course, you want to tie your brand to patient experience. Ensure that patients are having an emotional connection with the brand that you are creating. How does your brand make them feel? Very important. And lastly, help employees become brand ambassadors. Your patients and your staff are your greatest advocates when it comes to advertising. Ensure that they have a positive experience with your brand so they can tell others in the community about it.
Brand work is an ongoing process. Employ some of the tips and tricks we've covered here, and you're off to a great start. We greatly appreciate your time today and hope you've learned more about building your practice's brand. Some quick housekeeping before we say goodbye. Visit our website to find the My Marketing Team Branding Resources Toolkit. You can stay in the know by following our VSP providers Facebook page and Twitter account. And lastly, if you're looking for a great social media resource, you can visit our website to request a Hootsuite account. Thank you so much for your time today. We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's webinar as it helps us provide topics and content that you're interested in. Please email us at mymarketingteam@vspglobal.com.